Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats as the ceremony will begin shortly.
Please be reminded to switch off all mobile devices or put them on silent mode. Please also note that you are required to remain seated throughout the entire ceremony.
Before the ceremony begins, let us give you a quick overview of this morning's program. We are delighted to have the Dean of the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, Professor Gerard George, open this ceremony with a congratulatory speech. This is followed by the speech by the Valedictorian, after which we will proceed to the presentation of degrees. We seek your kind understanding and cooperation with a few quick reminders here. Graduates, please return to your seats immediately after you have collected your scrolls. All guests and graduates, kindly remain seated till the end of the ceremony, and please refrain from leaving the ceremony at any point.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming the Grand Processional. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite you to stand for the National Anthem. Thank you, and please take your seats.
Dean Jerry, distinguished guests, professors, graduates, family, and friends. Good morning and a warm welcome to Commencement 2018 of the Lee Kong Chian School of Business. My name is Nigel.
And I am Nadia. We are both graduates of the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, and we are honored to be your MCs this morning.
Nadia, Can you believe it's been 4 years since we first embarked on our SMU journey?
I still can't believe it. It feels like yesterday. We were just wide-eyed freshmen, full of excitement and a little bit of nervousness for what's to come. Those days where we'd get stressed from boss bidding, mug at the library, and feel our hearts pounding before we raise our hands for class participation. And of course, always spreading ourselves a little bit too thin by joining so many CCAs and organizations, hanging out with new friends, and also asking them to get us kopi peng for our 8:15 a.m. class, or at least I'm guilty. It was an additional struggle for me, as an Indonesian, to attempt to understand Singlish when I first came to SMU. And telling the difference between la, le, and lo?
Can you tell the difference until now?
Not a clue.
After 4 years in SMU, we have gained so much, but it wasn't easy. University was kind of like our hike in the Dolomite Mountains in Italy, remember?
Yes, the one that we did on exchange, right?
Yes. It was such a tough and steep climb up, much like our struggles in SMU, with our late nights, internships, project deadlines. I can't believe we survived all of that. And now, we are here, at our graduating ceremony. It feels like being on top of the mountain that we conquered. Looking back truly, I don't think we could have done this all by our own. Let us not forget the people who made this climb so much easier. Our parents, who supported us in this journey, and our professors, who imparted their knowledge to us.
They definitely played a key role in nurturing our hearts and minds.
And last but not least, let us not forget the friends who were with us in this journey, those who stood by our side, laughed, cried, and in the end emerged as the graduating class of 2018. Let us put our hands together to show gratitude to all these people who were such an important part of our journey.
To start the program, let us welcome the Dean of the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, Professor Gerard George, to deliver his congratulatory speech to the graduates. Dean Jerry, please.
Wow. There's a sense of relief. I see some excitement. I see some boredom. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. You can tweet later. Distinguished guests, friends, family, graduates, our faculty, our professional staff, welcome. Welcome to this morning's graduation ceremony. To the graduating class of 2018, this is how I'm going to do the speech. Every time, think of this like a presidential speech. You're not supposed to let me talk longer. So you have to shout in between and say, ooh, or clap hands and things like that. So when I say to the graduating class of 2018, you're supposed to make noise. Okay? All right. Let me try this again. To the graduating class of 2018, all right. I offer you my sincere and heartiest congratulations. I know, there you go. Our parents have gotten this better than you guys have. Very good, very good. Today is supposed to be a very lighthearted and happy moment. So my speech is going to be lighthearted, but a little bit of, thinking about stuff. But the whole idea of this day's event is to celebrate. And for me, this graduation ceremony is fulfilling, simply because this is the first, I've been dean for 4 years, so this is the first graduation ceremony where you've come in when I've come in and you're graduating. I'm still here, don't worry. And you are leaving. So the 4 years that you've spent at SMU was under my stewardship. So for me, that is a very fulfilling moment. There are a lot of people here you want to be thankful for. I know our MC has already said, let's thank our parents, but I thought that clap was very lame. So I'm going to do this again. The reason is that I've got 2 daughters myself, and I pay for their tuition fees, I do all of this, But even on graduation, I don't think they say thank you enough. So I want to hear the loudest cheer you can possibly give for your parents. Otherwise, when you come out here, I will not give you the scroll. So let's hear it for our parents. I have to ask our parents a little bit. Parents, what do you think of that? Was that reasonable? What, your tuition fees? There's a father saying, no, no way. The camera should look at him and say, oh, no, that's clear endorsement. This is not enough, okay? So I have to tell you, our parents, our partners, our friends, our family work really hard to put us where we are. So we really, really have to be thankful today and for all the things that they've done for us to show it in a way that's not just smug. How come my makeup's off? Or how come you didn't wake me on time? Or all these things, to show genuine gratitude for all that they've done. And you've already given a clap. I'm not going to make you do it again. But when you find a chance today or tomorrow or during this week, truly and meaningfully say thank you. Right? The other group, of course, are the folks next to you who are sitting beside you, your friends who are graduating alongside you. There were days where you didn't like them as much. There were days where you thought you couldn't get through class without them. So for our friends who are sitting beside us, let's give a big cheer. You know, in Singapore, we make things easy as well. We are very helpful. So we have these clappers just so if you want to make a louder noise, that's why we have those, right? I'm just feeding it. There you go. Thank you. So my speech I've got is split in two parts. The first part is some people might call it boasting. I call it branding. The second part is something about a take-home message. So I'll start with the first part, which is the branding part. To me, branding is, well, half my job is looking good, the other half is branding. So to me, the business school at 18 years has achieved a great deal, a great, great deal. 4 years ago when I joined, I could not have said in due conscience we were a global top 50 school. This year, I can say without a shadow of doubt, we're among the top 50 global business schools in the world. I'll have to say that's all because I'm handsome, but thank you, thank you. Even I've got fans among your parents. But it's actually because of our staff, our faculty, and of course our students and our alumni. And I say students and alumni because today you're at the threshold where you're going from between a student and when you walk off the stage, you're an alumnus. So I'll tell you a little bit about the accomplishments we've made, both because of you and the things that we do for you. I'm not going to list everybody, but some of our wins that we've had tells us that we really, really, our students are fantastic and they can compete anywhere in the world. A group called Entangled, comprising marketing majors, emerged champions at the international final of L'Oreal's Brandstorm, that's the makeup company, Brandstorm. This competition is one of the world's largest for students with over 150,000 participants from more than 60 countries. And guess what? Our students won. So, you know, you should clap. I have to apologize to our parents. The only part where I failed as a dean is I have not told your kids how to express gratitude and fun and on cue, right? So I'm working on it. Even just before they graduate, I'm working on it. Team Cognitare, thank you. Team Cognitare, thanks to our faculty mentors who work with them, the business case club that we have brought home a massive haul of trophies. Every year we keep getting better, we compete more, and we are global. We won awards at Chulalongkorn and Thammasat in Thailand, Sauder in British Columbia, and UBC in Canada. The team were also global champions in the 2017 Global Business Case Challenge in Japan. That's like a pretty much global sweepstakes win. Congratulations to everybody. Many of your students, I'm a professor of entrepreneurship, so I'm really a big fan of being entrepreneurial. Simply not just because entrepreneurship is just cool or sexy, it's because it creates the most positive good, where I think entrepreneurship, where you create employment, is far greater a noble purpose than just seeking employment. So for me, I'm really pleased that some of our students are some of the most entrepreneurial companies in this region, with names like new companies like Caro, Ninja Van, Reborns, Shopback, T-Box. All of these are our alumni, and we should be really proud of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that we are creating in this region. I'm also pleased that some of our students compete to go into these entrepreneurial companies. For example, Kevin To and Huang Pengfei are winners of the inaugural Silicon Valley Awards. The 9 winners of the award were selected from a pool of 79 applicants from all 6 of our universities. Both Kevin and Pengfei will be doing internships at Alibaba in China. Another example is Adrian Ang. Well done. So even my faculty are boosting now, right? Adrian Ang, one of our LKCSB alums from 2013, co-founded SGAG, a content distribution platform which reaches 2 million young Singaporeans every month. The success has achieved recognition on a global scale, with Forbes, the magazine, recently featuring Adrian and his co-founder Carl, also an alumnus, as alumnus of SMU in its 30 under 30 in Asia list. So congratulations. So these are some of the indicators that tell us that our students are the best, the brightest, and can compete anywhere in the world. Part of my branding message continues. We're also doing well in its rankings because, you know, our students may be a bit relaxed, but our parents are much more KPI driven. And they say, hey boss, they asked me outside, how have we done in our rankings this year? So I'm reporting, it's like an annual report of the CEO. So I have to tell you some of this. We continue to do amazingly well. Our wealth management program is ranked for the 4th consecutive year among the top 3 in the world in finance. We placed behind London Business School and Cambridge, but they've had a few years ahead of us, so we'll catch up soon. Our other programs in the graduate side, our undergraduate, we don't have a global ranking, but our graduate side, we've got our Exec Mba Rankings, which are now 24th in the world. And yeah, you should clap for this as well. Our Exec Mba graduates, they say, and the reason why they're ranked is among the highest paid in the world. But I don't think that's the reason why we get those rankings. I think we get those rankings because they're the nicest and hardest working cohort in the world, right? There's one indicator that is not always discussed, and that's the strength of your faculty. Because usually we don't see that. We just look at it as, oh, are we number 1, 2, or something in our student ranking? But 4 years ago, we were ranked 58 in what is the University of Texas ranking for business school research that looks at ranking as a measure of how good our faculty are in terms of the output they produce. 4 years ago, we were ranked 58 in the world. I'm pleased to say that this year, we are ranked 35. So it's things like this that my boss still keeps me in this job. Thank you, thank you. But it's not just being 35 in the world that matters. Because our parents are very competitive, probably more competitive than me and our students, we're number 1 in Singapore. All our business school deans meet every 3-4 months just to check notes and make sure that we are doing well. We haven't met last month. So at the age of 18, we are also the youngest school to be accredited across all 3 of the major accreditations that we have. Accreditation is where there is an external panel of deans that visit these schools and check whether we meet global standards. So for all 3 accreditations, I have to say, we passed with commendations, which puts us among the very small list of schools that meet not just a global standard to be best among the global standard. And the 3 accreditations are AACSB, EQUIS, which is the American standard, the European standard, and then one we have for our MBA programs. And because of that, we have what is called a coveted triple crown. So if some of you are racing fans, this is the horse racing bet. I would bet on SMU, right? So I'm going to stop boasting, and I'll go on to some real messaging here. The reason why I do all of this effort is to remind our students to be thankful for the education they got, and to remind our parents that 4 years ago, they made a bet on SMU, and they made a bet on the business school when I stood up and said, we welcome your students. And that bet is this, is that we would give a great education for your kids and for our graduates, and we've stuck to that promise. So, thank you. I'll get to my message now. The world of business is changing. I'm not going into this whole idea of how it's changing, but you know it's changing around us. As a school, we are also changing. How business education is changing. We are experimenting with new forms of teaching and learning. We are having a deeper engagement with industry and an emphasis on research with relevance. So I say in the world of artificial intelligence, we have to work harder to keep our institutions of natural intelligence relevant and vibrant. So I serve on this committee in the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And in that committee, the task of that committee is to rewrite what is called the Corporate Governance Code on how companies are run, how organizations are run. And the task in that committee, when we were working on this, it always comes up. How come we have great governance practices, but we still have scandals? And for that, I think we really have to reflect and delve a bit into our research and see how is it that we can have a great set of policies and practices, but really we fall afoul sometimes. And for that, I'm going to take you back into a little bit of research that we do here, but also a little bit of thinking about who we are in terms of reflection. There are 3 foundations, what we call moral foundations, that define who we are as individuals. The first foundation is probably the most dominant, and that's called utilitarianism, where we look at utility in everything that we do. Utilitarianism is an ethical tradition that directs us to decide how to act based on the consequences of our actions. That we ought to maximize the overall good and bring about the greatest good for the greatest number. So it's the greatest good for the greatest number. The idea of profit maximization is part of that tradition, of that foundation, being utilitarian. All our governance practices are anchored on being utilitarian. Even our kiasu mentality is anchored on being utilitarian, right? So the problem with that is being utilitarian means that we have a lens where we look at this world in a different way. Sometimes I fight within our system itself where we say, we take a picture of this kid smiling, vibrant, jumping, dancing, and says, becoming investment banker, or things like that, where we idolize wealth or success based on the position that you take, right? That is utility. What that means is that over time, we cloud our judgment on who we are as a person. This morning, I was taking Grab, coming here. I live in a nice condo. So the Grab driver, I'm standing outside waving. My name is Jerry George, right? So waving, he passes by me, turns around, comes back, and he passes by me again. Says, dude, this is a narrow street. I'm standing in front of you twice waving. Then he comes back and he stops. He says, are you Jerry George? I says, yes, I've been waving at you for like 3 minutes. He says, oh, I expected a Caucasian. And I'm thinking, dude, just because I live in a wealthy condo doesn't mean I cannot be part of this. It's a way of how we cloud our judgment in who we see and how we look at the world. At the same way, when we think of our career aspirations, we think of careers as building blocks of wealth. And Singapore, compared to other places that I've been in, emphasizes this a lot more, I think, as a moral foundation. But it comes at the expense of the two other foundations. The second one, which you wouldn't have typically hear of, it's a complex word, it's deontology. What it tells us is that some rules we ought to follow and duties we ought to do, even if it prevents good outcomes. So in other words, there are some things that we have to do even if it prevents good outcomes for the greater good. And that is respect and dignity for each person, right? Simply put, it highlights the idea that every human being has a right to be treated with dignity and respect. The more we emphasize utility, we give up respect and dignity for the person. The third foundation of morality is virtue. At SMU, yesterday we had a graduation ceremony where we gave awards for what we call the SMU Circle Awards. And Circle represents, it's an acronym for commitment, integrity, responsibility, collegiality, leadership, and excellence. Circle. So these are values, these are virtues that we think are important for an individual. So the virtue foundation, what it does is it shifts the focus from what the person should do to who the person is, right? It encourages organizations and business to develop culture, a culture where people can act virtuously. The reason why I highlight these three foundations is that for us to reflect as we move from one transition to the other, is to reflect on who we are as people and what is it that we want to do. And I say that these foundations will define what our purpose is. So about 4 years ago, I wrote this article with Cardinal Vincent Nichols in our top management journal. Some of my faculty are amazed that I can even write journal articles, because once you become a dean, they think your intelligence quotient goes to 0. Some of my students think the same way too, don't worry. So a cardinal is the head of a Catholic church in a particular region, for those of you who don't know. And this cardinal, Cardinal Vincent, is the head of the UK's Catholic Church. So the article we wrote, we talked about purpose in business. And there we say the focus on purpose underscores how interdependent business and society truly are. And that success in business means that you have to have success in society. So purpose means a shift from utility to the broader foundations of respect and dignity, as well as virtue. SMU, I think, is successful because of its purpose. It is a difficult challenge. Every day I face this, where there are pressures to be local while you want to be global. We want to achieve global rankings and visibility, but at the same time, we have to do things that have to be local to ensure that we provide the services to our citizens. So this constant challenge of how we position ourselves is how it defines our purpose of meaningful impact. For our researchers, they have to constantly fight this battle as well. Our faculty members are, let's say we have this process called tenure that is based on how they publish in these top journals. The top journals themselves don't care about Singapore, right? So they're global machines. So how do we balance this need to publish in the top journals while taking on projects that are meaningful and long-term in local businesses or in region? So how do we think about our own purpose? For us, our quest has to be meaningful impact as our North Star, where we think of meaningful impact as a direction that we want to go. Last month, I had my second graduation. My previous PhD graduation was 21 years ago, just about your age. I got my second honorary doctorate at the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland. I think I have to cue you again. You have to clap for this one. Even our parents are losing it. They had the edge, but it's gone now. So we have to sustain that. I was walking around in St. Gallen. It's a small town in Switzerland near Zurich. And there was this abbey library. It was created in the 5th century. So it houses some of the treasures in medieval literature. And one of the manuscripts there is a manuscript written by St. Gall, on whom the town is named, about the 12 abuses of life. When they talk about abuse, I think he means that you've wasted your life if, or something's gone wrong if. And I think he's talking about purpose when he says that you've abused your life or you've lived your life if you've not achieved a certain thing. And he gave me examples that stuck in my mind. He says, you've abused your life if you're an old man without faith. You're a community without order. A young man without obedience. I think he said man that time because it's 500 some time ago. But if you were to rewrite this, you'll add women as well. But just to make the point, it doesn't leave out our women. And a rich man without charity. And what stuck with me as an academic is you've abused your life if you are not a wise man without good works. Given that I'm in the company of professors and students, my message to you is to reflect on your purpose. Don't let career aspirations, because there is this strong pressure among your peers, from your parents' friends, from your aunties, uncles, everybody, that thinks that a certain job that you take defines who you are. And at that time, it's important to bring in money so that you're able to support your family, but that should not define who you are as an individual. And when you are challenged, you have to think about the 3 moral foundations and say, it's not just utility, it's about respect and dignity, as well as virtue. And who you are in 20 years or 30 years or 40 years will be defined by every step that you take and the lens that you see the world. For the graduating students here, there are some simple lessons that I try to stick by, right? The first one is try to be the hardest working person in your team. If there are 10 hours at work, you should invest that marginal hour in your own growth. That marginal hour does not seem like, oh, it's just 1 extra hour a day, but think of it like a pension. Every hour that I put aside, either to help myself grow or the people around me grow to be better, that pays it back in multiple times in 20 or 30 years. So I always say, for those who are starting off careers, work harder than everybody else in your team, but invest that marginal hour in yourself and others around you. When you feel challenged, ask yourself if what you're doing fits your purpose. You will never go astray if you stick with everything that is done by your purpose. Before I end, I have to say, you are now part of the SMU family. Please stay connected. Join our alumni. Be active partners. When I say active partners, be involved. Send people an email. Say, Prof, how can I help? Be part of our community. We need each other for our growth and our progress. Please come back, lend a helping hand in whatever way you can, and be our champion. Speak highly about SMU, speak highly about the business school, and say, be truly thankful for what you've received. And don't forget, you have to thank your parents and your family later. Thanks, Fomin, you get 2 points. Also, after a couple of years, come back for a master's or a PhD. That's okay. Let me close by wishing all of you, all of us, our students, graduating students, our parents, our family members, our faculty and our staff, a fruitful journey of life where we try to find purpose together. Today's your big day. Go have a good time. Congratulations. Keep growing, but never forget your purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Jerry. The next person coming on stage is someone I'm sure many of you would know, especially if you are active in the sports and community service scene in SMU.
Leading as the president of our university's sports union, he spent a significant amount of time and effort promoting a vibrant sporting culture in SMU. His impact on others extended far beyond SMU, where he led students to Nepal for Project Namaste, a community service project which aims to educate Nepalese children.
In spite of all these achievements, this gentleman is still the humblest friend I know. Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite on stage this year's valedictorian in business, the capable, inspirational, and handsome Shannon Ko Zhi Kai. Shannon, please.
Good morning, Dean Jerry, Deputy Deans, Associate Dean, LKCSB faculty and staff, distinguished guests, parents, family, and friends. Today, we have gathered here to celebrate the end of an amazing journey in an institution that many of us would call a second home. Congratulations, class of 2018. We have made it. The buzz in our heads, generated by 4 years of seemingly impossible deadlines and hell weeks, have suddenly been silenced. And we're all here today, smiling to ourselves, some of you a little more obvious than the others, because we have conquered every challenge that seemed insurmountable to us. On behalf of all the graduates, I would like to express our gratitude to the faculty and staff who have groomed us to be the confident SMU graduates of today as we move into the next phase of our lives. Thank you. Life at SMU was never easy. A friend's mother once shared an analogy that stuck with me throughout my 4 years here, and I hope this resonates with you as well. She said, "I have heard that life at SMU is like a boxing match. You go in and you punch frantically for 15 weeks, and then you repeat it 8 times until you graduate. No truer words have been spoken. At one point of time, we can have 4 midterms, 2 individual assignments, 3 projects, some CCA thing that we have to commit to, and a job interview to prepare for, all within the span of 4 days. It may have sounded like I was rambling, but I bet every single one of you has said something similar to a friend in the past 4 years. And even during the breaks between the rounds, we had to keep up with activities such as internships, community service. It never stops, and sometimes we may have found it hard to catch our breath. However, a few rounds in, and we start to realize that we're getting more confident with our punches, and we even find a few good opportunities to land a great combo. Looking back, we may have been battered, but never defeated, and now we have all grown stronger and wiser. Now today, as this final bell is being sounded on our very exciting boxing match, I feel that there are some lessons that we can take into the new and upcoming sport, which we call the game of life. Life is a marathon, a race that stretches on, and one which we should run at our own pace. So first, let us not worry about the things that we cannot change, but instead focus on the things that are within our control and work on them. A boxer of my stature may be limited by height, but we'll just have to find some other things to work on, like speed or strength. We may not be able to control how others feel about us, but we can definitely work on ourselves to become better people. Indeed, 24 hours a day is too short a time for us to spend it on worrying and self-doubt. And I'm sure there are now many past worries that we've had that all seem trivial and unimportant. So I learned this when I started my term as the president of SMU Sports Union, but on crutches. So I tore a few ligaments in my knee, and suddenly I became the sports union president who could not participate in any sports. It's quite ironic, right? But because of that, I started to doubt myself and worried that I was unfit and incapable to lead. But my team soon made me realize that they didn't choose me because of my sporting abilities. They chose me because they believed in me as a person and held faith that I would not let them down. From them, I learned that we just have to trust ourselves and focus on the things that are within our control. There are just too many variables in this world, but only that little time and effort that we can afford to give as individuals. So we have to choose wisely. Next, just as every boxer has his or her own fighting style, so do we as individuals, and that is what I feel SMU has encouraged us to embrace. Yes, I'm referring to class part. So in true SMU spirit, let us be confident of our own perspectives while keeping in mind that others are encouraged to do the same as well. Life is full of opportunities for continuous and perhaps ungraded class part. And sometimes all we need is a little push from each other. I think many of us here would have had instances in class when we just had something on our minds to say, but we don't say it because we were unsure of its importance or relevance. However, upon a prompt from the prof along the lines of, "You look like you have something to say," or your irritated friend beside you telling you to just say lah, we quickly realized that we were actually spot on. Or maybe not. But in those situations when we actually got it right, we suddenly feel so much more engaged in class, and even the lights in the room seem a bit brighter. In life, we're surrounded by people whose views can add value to ours, and by participating and encouraging participation, we can be that catalyst for growth in any environment that we may be placed in. Now, finally, as all the crowds leave our ringside and all the glamour fades away, we quickly realize that it is the people who have been with us on our journey that stay. They are like the coaches and teammates, the family and friends, and perhaps a diehard fan. In the years to come, we will meet many people, but as we get caught up in our day-to-day lives, let us not forget to take time to appreciate the people who believed in us and walked with us along the way. At this point, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my friends, you know who you are, and especially my 12th SMU Sports Union Management Committee and friends from Project Namaste for creating some of the best memories that I've had in SMU. Last but definitely not the least, I would like to thank my parents and family for their undeniable love and support. Thank you, class of 2018. It has truly been a spectacular match with all of you. Now, as we lay down our boxing gloves, let us cast aside our worries, be confident, and go out there to find our personal best. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
We will now proceed to the presentation of the Bachelor of Business Management degrees. Without further ado, let us invite the Dean, Professor Gerard George, and Senior Lecturer Ma Keng-min on stage as we proceed to the presentation of various degrees. Dean Jerry and Senior Lecturer Ma, please. Before we begin, may we remind graduates to return to your seats immediately after receiving your degrees and remain seated till the end of the ceremony.
Parents and friends, once again, please refrain from taking photographs with your personal cameras. Graduates, we also seek your kind cooperation to refrain from taking selfies when on stage.
Yin Lim Ziwei. Irenaeus Bob Yo Yao Ping, magna cum laude. Isaac Ng Wu Jie, magna cum laude. Isaac Ong Yi Jie, magna cum laude. Isabel Chang Bao Ke. Isabel Lau Jia Yi. Isabel Tan Hui En. Jesslyn Lo Yen Tong. Jacqueline Ting Kai Yun. Jamie Teo Si Min. Janet Ng Chuan Yi. Janice Yo Chi Fang. Jasper Chim Han Xiang, magna cum laude. Jasper Ko Chao Han. Jin Chan Sing Yi. Jennifer Hui Shan Dresco, magna cum laude. Jong Hyung Kim. Nadia Prita Wibi Sona, summa cum laude. Nigel Lim Ching Yip, magna cum laude. Jeremy Kwang Hong Jin, cum laude. Jeremy Lo Wei Feng. Jeremy Ng Kok Siong. Jessica Lim Jia Yun, cum laude. Jessica Veronica Devi Chandra, magna cum laude, winner of International Trading Excellence Award. Jiang Yucheng. Jim Zheng Nian Taylor. Jimmy Ng Kin Lok. Jin Yang. Joycelyn Pang Jingling. Joel Ang Zhou Yao. Joey Chan, cum laude. Joey Pei. Jolene Heng Si Ying. Jonathan Leong Zijian, cum laude. Josh Ho Xianzheng, cum laude. Joshua Chong Yap Sin. Joshua Ko Cheong Sun. Joyce Grace Zheng Tianjiao. Joyce Wong Xingyi. Juliana Lien Xingyi, cum laude. Juvina Ratnam. George Bala. Kalas Vaishnavi, cum laude. Kanchan Kumar. Kan Keng Hao, Ivan, cum laude. Kathleen O, cum laude. Cayman Lim. Kenneth Mauka. 坑俊义、Kingsley 坑伟、Kingsley 赖玉伟 cum laude。柯慧玲、柯玲英 cum laude。柯香杰、柯ทัด慧、柯伟珍 Eunice、柯玉祥、柯家清 Leslie、柯美全 cum laude。匡英炳 Leah、Quackley Tong magna cum laude。Lai Wei Tek Sean, double degree, Bachelor of Business Management, Bachelor of Science Economics. Lam Wang Kwan. Lam Yi An Lowell, magna cum laude. Lau Pui Yi Sarah. Lei Jin Yuan Kelvin, magna cum laude. Li Cheng Yi. Li Chuan Jun Dylan, summa cum laude. Li Jiasen. Li Jiayi Carissa. Li Jianyi. Li Kaiting Caris, cum laude. Li Kangwei, magna cum laude. Li Meihui Pauline. Li Peizhen. Li Shaohao Jaden, cum laude. Li Shuyi, cum laude. Li Shihui Stephanie, cum laude. Li Siyi. Li Wan Yi, Lisa, cum laude. Lee Wayne, cum laude. Li Wei Chen. Li Xueling. Li Yanling, Mariel. Li Yingping, Nicole. Lester Lim Wei Liang. Li Ling. Liam Pang Shi Liang. Magna cum laude. Lian Hao Jing Melvin, cum laude. Liao Han Wei, cum laude. Liu Qian Yi Joseph, cum laude. Li Jie Jerome. Lim Chia Lun, cum laude. Lim Cheng Yi, cum laude. Lim Tao Yong, Dale. Lim Yi Ching. Lim Eng Hui, Grace. Lim Eng Qi. Lim Fang Song, Sean, summa cum laude. Lim Jia Hui, summa cum laude. Lim Jia Yi. Lim Jia Xian Nicole. Lim Jia Chong Jonathan. Lim Jing Yi Kimberly, cum laude. Lim Jin Rong Daniel. Lim Kiep Mei Grace. Lim Li Xuan Valerie, cum laude. Lim Li Xuan Pearl. Lim Ming Yi Vera, Lim Pei Shan, magna cum laude. Lim Rui Rong, Beatrice, cum laude. Lim Shao Hen, cum laude. Lim Wei Sheng Aaron, cum laude. Lim Wei Jie Dominic. Lim Wan Heng. Lim Xin Xian, magna cum laude. Lim Xin Yi Renis. Lim Xue Ting. Lim Yen Kiet Benjamin, magna cum laude. Lim Yen Ling. Lim Yu Jie, cum laude. Lim Yu Xuan Evian, cum laude. Lim Yuet Mei Yenin. Lim Ziying. Lim Ziming Lucas. Lim Zhishen Jacob. Lin Chakpan. Lim Jiani, magna cum laude. Lin Xuefang. Lin Zhengfeng Desmond. Livia Pek Min Yi. Lo Yu Jie Steve, magna cum laude. Loi Qi Rong, magna cum laude. Louis Ho Kit Yang, magna cum laude. Luis Renato Rahaja Hadiamajaya. Lo K Ming Joshua. Lo Mei Yu. Lo Wei Xuan, cum laude. Lo Yiyuan. 陆雪前 Gavin, Lui Yongmin Michael, Lai Kai Pei, magna cum laude. Lynette Ho Si-ling, M. Fauzan bin M. Faiz, summa cum laude. Ma Cheng Yui, magna cum laude. Megan Kwang Hui Min, magna cum laude. Mahima Damani, Mai Yu Quan Marcus, magna cum laude. Mark Hang Ren, Mark Wei Ling, Perlin, cum laude. Mark Lee Shao Wei, Marcus Chan K. King, Margaret Tan, Max Hadi Onkleo Wijaya, magna cum laude. Min Woon, magna cum laude. Mohana Motikuma, Monica, Mohammed bin Kamaruddin, cum laude. Muhammad Hamza bin Abdul Razid, cum laude. Muhammad Jamaluddin bin Muhammad Adil, magna cum laude. Muhammad Noor, son of Abdul Ghani. Mark Chen Wen, Muriel Liang Bei Ying, Nết Pen Pui, Mira Nalani Tan Kim Yen, Nadira Muhammad Rafiq, Na Xin Yang, cum laude. Niu Jiayue Vanessa, magna cum laude. Niu Sherlin. Niu Yuheng Jordan, cum laude. Niu Yuanwen Rebecca. Navin Sim KV, magna cum laude. Eng Hao Wei, cum laude. Eng Jia Huan, cum laude. Eng Pang Wei Ignatius, magna cum laude. Eng Chi Jing Regina. Eng Shin. Eng Shuling. Eng Xing Li. Eng Xue Yun. Eng Tian Chong Elga. Eng Wang Ning. Eng Wen Qi, cum laude. Eng Yanling Eunice. Eng Zuer Joey, cum laude. Nguyen Thiên Kong. Nguyen Vic Chong. Nguyen Vong Hoàng Ying. Nicholas Han Yao Guang. Nicholas Ku Yulong Groton. Nicole Yu Jing Tung, summa cum laude. Li Qiming, cum laude. Nigel Ng Chun Ki, magna cum laude. Nobel J. Ng Wyman, summa cum laude. No Afika Binte Osman. No Jazila Binte Jupairi. Noreen Nazifa Binte Muhammad Yusuf. Niang Jiayi. O Mei Yi Angeline. Ong Yi Sheng, cum laude. Ong Gyok Ting, cum laude. Ong Hui Ling. Ong Jia Wen Nicole. Ong Jia Xin Sarah Loretta. Ong Jing magna cum laude. Ong Jin Hao magna cum laude. Ong Kai Jin Bertrand. Ong Sheng Fang Daniel. Ong Shihao, summa cum laude, winner of International Trading Excellence Award. Ong Weijie Jeffrey. Ong Xin Kai. Li Dongjing Florence. Lim Jingwei Melvin, cum laude. Orson Ting Ge En. Hang Jiahao Sean. Pearly Patawan Tirana Viku. P. Jingwen. Pei Siying. Peck Legion Joanne. Peck Tiong An Sean. Peng Pei Pei Cheryl. Perry Wong Wei Liang. Fang. I got it here. Phan Vung Meng Ngọc. Pho Chuan An. Hua Kia Chen, cum laude. Hua Wenhui. Ho Wenjie, cum laude. Ho Yifang Chloe, cum laude. Ho Yingling, cum laude. Priscilla Gui Le Kit. Priyanka Gupta. Hua Jermaine, magna cum laude. Hua Yingping, cum laude. Chiu Yin Fei, cum laude, double degree, Bachelor of Business Management, Bachelor of Accountancy. Quek Ek Ming, magna cum laude. Quek Hien Sun, Sean, cum laude. Quek Chien Hui, Michelle. Quek Wei Quan. Lim Jie Kai, Kenneth, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Accountancy, Bachelor of Business Management. Luke Ho Zhiqiang, cum laude, double degree, Bachelor of Science Economics, Bachelor of Business Management.
Thank you, Dean Jerry and Senior Lecturer Ma.
Professors, guests, family, and friends, thank you for being here to share this important milestone of our lives.
As the ceremony draws to a close, we would like to invite all the 2018 graduates to stand up. Graduates, please stand up. Okay, so now please adjust your tassels from the right to the left to indicate that you have graduated. And now, the usual tradition at the end of commencement, and the moment everyone has been waiting for, the celebratory toss. So everyone, on the count of 3.
Okay,
One,
one,
two,
two, three! Now formally declare this ceremony closed. Just one last housekeeping matter. May we request for all family and friends to remain seated so as to enable faculty and graduates to leave the hall for the group photo. And now, may we invite the Dean to lead the grand processional. Dean Jerry, please.